Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this series of talks. Today, I am so very happy to be here and host this talk by our guest, Leah Gouveia, a very special guest, who will be discussing time for solidarity. Before we turn it over to Leah, I would like to do a short opening prayer, if I may. I invite all of us to close our eyes. At the same time, let us open our hearts and minds and connect with all the spirits of lights who are here with us, along with our benefactors who guide us during our journey on earth. May we all be blessed. May our dear friend Leah receive her inspiration during this talk, and that we're all touched by her words. So be it. Leah, welcome to our talk today. We hope you and your family are doing well.
Thank
It
you.
is so very good to have you here to discuss this very interesting topic, a time for solidarity. So I look forward to hear from you and to better understand how to have solidarity in everything we do. Before Leah begins, may I please begin this talk with a formal introduction. Leah Gouveia is an active member of the Spiritist Society of North Beach, SNB, since it was incorporated in 2009. She has been serving as a program director, communications director, and vice president of the society. Professionally, Leah is a business analyst, and she holds a bachelor degree in computer science. So just a friendly reminder, everyone, please send your questions using the chat window. Leah has reserved some time to address your comments, your questions, or any thoughts that you may have for her. So Leah, please take it away. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Marcia. Thank you so much, everyone from the United States Spiritist Federation, for your kind invitation. Thank you, dear friends that are joining us today. It's more than time for solidarity, right? So this moment, it's a call for all of us to open our hearts, to open our minds, and be united in solidarity. In a moment that our world is in turmoil, with so much suffering, so much anxiety and fear, so many people in despair, in need of a word, of a consolation, we raise our thoughts to the entire planet and send vibrations of hope, of love. And let's put everyone in Jesus' arms, like this image we see in front of us. Our Master Jesus, that is in charge of our planet, He's here with us, with the missionaries, with the high order spirits, to bring us consolation, to bring us hope. And like we see on this image, like little children, we are on His arms. All the nations of this planet, all the people are not alone. They are surrounded by His love and by the light of the high spirits. So join me on this journey today, where we are going to learn a little bit more about this law of solidarity. And I'm going to start with Leon Denis, this great spiritist, philosopher, writer, and poet, who left a legacy of books and knowledge to us. And most of the study today is going to talk about the book, The Big Enigma. And Leon Denis starts telling us that solidarity is a universal communion. He states that, originated from God, all souls are siblings. All children of the human race are bound by close ties of loving fellowship and solidarity. So, dear friends, we are all coming from the same Creator, what we call God. So we are brothers and sisters in humanity. And we are by nature bound by fellowship and solidarity. This is the law. So even if you feel alone, in reality, you are not alone. You are connected to all the beings in nature, not only human beings, but the entire nature. All the cultures of this planet are united, to the point that the progress of each one of us is felt by all of us. On the other hand, the degradation of one affects all the rest. Every time a soul, someone gives up in life, someone that is lost in addictions, someone that takes a wrong path, we all lose. On the other hand, if we individually do our part to progress, to spread love, to spread compassion, to spread goodness, we can, on this universal communion of thoughts and vibrations, be united with one another. So, dear friends, let's meditate about this concept of solidarity and let's hold hands. This moment we may not be able to touch hands physically, but it is touching the souls, the spiritual hands of each one with our thoughts, with our prayers, with our nice words. We are here to help one another. And the universal truth that Leon Denis tells us about, it is spread in all cultures, all religions and philosophies. It's why I brought this slide from Pope Francis, the leader of the Catholic Church, to show to us that the same message, it is spread in all parts of the globe. He states, we cannot be truly loving if we ignore any part of the reality that peace, justice, and the preservation of creation are connected and cannot be separated. We are connected in our origin, like Leon Denis tells us, and we are immersed in love. We are, he says, woven together by the love of God. So even if we do not feel the love because we are maybe lost in our worries, in our material life, we are on this wave of love. We are all interconnected with our Creator, with one another, with the entire nature, every mountain, every river, every planet, everything we see, it's part of us. Every animal life, and we must learn how to live in harmony, how to respect one another, and to use and not abuse. We are here to protect the animals. We are here to protect our planets. We are here to help and protect one another. And it's not possible to have peace, it's not possible to have justice with so much inequality, with so much abuses we find in our world. And Pope Francis continues, everything is related, and we human beings are united as brothers and sisters in a wonderful pilgrimage, woven together by the love God has for each of his creatures. So there is a law of equality here. It's all of us. God does not have favorites. Maybe certain humans do, but not God. If we are in different parts of the world, if we are living different times of struggles, it's just because it's what we need for all process of evolution. We are immortal spirits. We are created the same. We have the same origin, but we are in different states of evolution, in different levels of consciousness. So consequently, we express differently. We do have different tasks to fulfill, and we have different struggles or sufferings. And what is a suffering? Is just an educative process for our souls to progress. Because if everything is smooth, everything is fine, will not move, will not progress. We would accommodate in our easy lives. So we must have challenges, we must have struggles, and we must look suffering with a different eyes, just an opportunity to progress and to educate ourselves. As we learn, suffering comes when many times we were called true love and we didn't listen. So let's listen the calls of love instead of, going to the second stage, which is suffering. And Leon Denis continues here. All beings are connected to each other and influence each other. The entire universe is subject to the law of solidarity. So not only our planet Earth, but the entire universe, everything it is connected. And we are all immersed on this cosmic energy, which we call God, the supreme intelligence. So let's open our hearts to feel the love of our Creator. The worlds lost in the depths of the ether, the stars, which at millions of leagues apart intersect their silver rays, know each other, call each other, and answer one another. So poetic the way Leon Denis writes here. So he says not only us, but the worlds, the stars, the planets, they call each other, they know each other, and they answer one another. They are also on this law of solidarity. There is a force we call attraction that unites them through the abysses of space. This attraction, the law of attraction and affinity, that as we evolve is transformed into love. And love, it is eternal. We can see that our loved ones that passed away, they're still with us, they're still connected to us. And we learn with Spiritists that we can communicate with them through our thoughts, through our prayers, and that one day we'll be reunited together. So this brings a lot of hope and consolation because we see we are not alone here at all. Likewise, on the ladder of life, all souls are united by multiple relationships. On the ladder of life, as we progress, as we experience new lives, and in Spiritism we learn about the law of reincarnation, that our spirit, our immortal spirit, reincarnate different times, every time to learn new experiences. So we must experience a different culture, a different religion, a different gender, different professions, and all these result of our experiences are going to build better souls. Because this is the goal, right? To purify and to develop our abilities, our skills, our intelligence, our virtues. The solidarity that binds us is based on the identity of our nature, on the equality of our sufferings over time, on the similarity of our destinies and our ends. So we have the same nature. We have this divine seed of our Creator in us that we must develop through our own efforts, through our inner work, through the actions. And suffering, as I mentioned, is part of the educative process. And as we struggle, as we face new challenges, we look for solutions. And as looking for new solutions, we develop our abilities, our intelligence, and our virtues. And similarity of our destinies and our ends. We learn we were created for happiness, for perfection, for light. So we have the same origin, the same destination, and the path we take towards the end, it's up to us because we have freedom, we have free will. The law of freedom, it's another divine law that we learn, and it's up to us. It is our own responsibility to go faster, to take shortcuts, to choose better paths than others. Okay? So, another message from another religious leader showing that this universal truth is really everywhere. We must be open to listen, to learn. So Desmond Tutu said, "My humanity is bound up in yours, for we can only be human together." So we are learning how to become human. We are not divine yet. We just have a tiny divine seed that needs to be developed with time. But right now, the call is to become more human, to become more sensitive to the needs of each other, to really create a network of relationship and solidarity and build a better world together. It's why we are here. We are here not only to develop our virtues and intelligence and skills, but we are here to imprint, to cause a positive impact in our world. We are here to leave a legacy. It doesn't matter it's a small or big one. Maybe you are going to make a difference in one life. Maybe you are going to make a difference in a whole collective community. It doesn't matter. You are here to do your part, to fulfill your task. There is a purpose for you. There is a meaning for you to be here in this moment, on this time. So let's discover what you are here for and work towards your destination. The human soul feels all the attractions of inner life. At the same time, it perceives calls coming from above. So we learn the divine laws. It's imprinted in our conscience, in our spirit. We are spirit, right? But at the same time, we can perceive, we can connect ourselves with higher minds and feel the calls that coming from the superior beings, to the higher spirits. In this laborious and painful evolution process, there is a consoling fact that at every stage of its ascent, the soul is attracted, aided, and rescued by high order entities. So, look, the beauty of that. We are attracted, aided, and rescued by high order spirits, entities. So the solidarity is also between human beings, incarnated spirits, and discarnated spirits. We are in a big chain of connection, and we must learn how to raise ourselves, above materiality, to be able to reach their hands, to feel their inspirations, to feel their thoughts coming in our direction. All spirits on the move are helped by their more advanced siblings and must in turn help those that are below them. So at the same time, we must connect to the superior beings and progress. We also must help the ones that are more fragile, the ones that are in need of our help, because there is always ways to help people. You have skills, you have talents that it only belongs to you. What is your task to do, others cannot do, you know? So we always have something to give. Maybe it's a smile, maybe it's a word, maybe it is something that you can do. It's part of your talents that you can show to others that they do matter, okay? That they are important and they are loved. And this is so true, this concept that the rescue comes from above or from heaven, out of heaven, that we can find on the book of Psalm. Out of heaven, my rescue comes. So what is heaven? Heaven is the superior worlds where the spirits are more evolved. But the concept of heaven, we must learn that is not a place that people remain there without doing nothing. No, because there is a constant progress. Even the pure spirits, they are active, and more evolved the spirits are, more they work, more they serve. They become true missionaries of God, spreading the words, spreading the teachings, spreading the love and the compassion we need. So even if you feel now you are lost in a hole by yourself, you are not. There is always help that can come in your direction. So believe, connect, okay? The help is around you. You are surrounded by love. Feel it. Each individuality forms a link of the great chain of beings. We found this image in a horizontal, but the way I see it's more in a vertical way, because we are in the ladder of progress, right? So we are all united above and below our level of understanding and progress. The solidarity that unites us may restrict the freedom of each one, but if this freedom is limited in its extent, it's not in its intensity. So, why our freedom is limited when we are together? Because we can always affect one another. So we must be careful what we do, right? We have rights, but we also have duties with one another. No. But as Leon Denis says here, if this freedom is limited in extent, it is not in intensity, because every chain of this great bracelet here, can influence positively or negatively into one another. So if the action of the chain link is limited, a single pulse coming from it can agitate the whole chain. Look how profound. A single pulse can agitate the whole chain. What are you doing? What am I doing to agitate the whole chain in a positive way, to create a positive impact and not a negative one? This constant fertilizing of the lower world by the higher world is a thing of wonder. So when I read this sentence, this constant fertilizing of the lower world by the higher world, I imagine us, doing a simple work on the soil, And like the worms do, and it seems not to have a high value, but in reality, it is huge because every being has a purpose. And the higher order spirits, they are bringing the sun, they are bringing the rain, the water, and together we can create beautiful gardens, of plants and flowers. It is a teamwork effort. It's not solitary. As I mentioned before, all brilliant intuitions, deep inspirations, and mind revelations come thereof. So we must be open to connect and receive the intuitions, the inspirations, and the revelations that are coming from the high order spirits. In all eras, high thought has always radiated into the human brain. In all eras, in all cultures, God, in its equity, has never refused its assistance or its light to any nations or people. And this is so true. If you study history, you can see that in every era, in every culture, we had missionaries, we had called prophets, we had genius, people that brought knowledge, spirits incarnated or discarnated that helped humankind to progress. And when you think about that, it's so beautiful, this concept. So here another thought from Dr. Wayne Dyer, who says, if prayer is good, is you talking to God, then intuitions is God talking to you. And if the intuition is coming from these high evolved spirits, they are the messengers of God. So God is always talking to us through nature, through the lips of someone else, through a message you open, a book you read. You must observe, you must be attempting to the messages that are coming in your direction. Be open for it. Listen. Have moments of introspection, moments that you stay alone and do your prayer, your meditation. Allow these intuitions, inspirations coming to you. To all, it has sent guides, missionaries, and prophets, like we mentioned. The truth is one and it is eternal, to the point we can see in different religions, in different philosophies, even with people that are not religious, but they can sense, they can understand, the concepts of what is right, what is wrong, of ethics, So the truth is one and it's eternal. It penetrates into humanity by means of successive radiations as our understanding becomes more disposed to assimilate it. Each new revelation is a continuation of an older one. So what we are studying Spiritism is not new, but we need this to refresh our memories. This typifies Spiritism, whose teachings bring a more complete knowledge of the role of every human being, a revelation of its hidden powers, and also of its inner relations with higher and divine thought. So what we learn in Spiritism, I brought here a little summary of the main points and what Spiritism is in a nutshell. So we do understand God as the supreme intelligence, first cause of all things. So God is not material for us. God is not human. God is not male or female. God, it is the supreme intelligence. It is infinite. It is the cause of all things. And from God, we all were created human beings, every form of life, every nature. Consequently, we are all connected in this chain of solidarity. Jesus, it is our guide and model. So in Spiritism, Jesus is not a religious figure. It is a pure spirit. It is what we can be, through multiple lives, multiple experiences. He, with his example, with his messages, he told us that we must simply love. I say simply, but it's so hard to love, right? To develop love for ourselves, for our brothers and sisters, for even our the people that we do not like, or people that do not like us, what we call our enemies or adversaries. So Jesus is our model, and we learn with the Spirit's book. He is the most enlightened spirit that incarnated in our planet. So through him we can evolve if we learn how to be true Christians, true followers of his message. And Kardec and Leon Denis and other Spiritist missionaries brought us so much knowledge to help us progress. So in the Spiritist centers, we studied the fundamental books of Allan Kardec, mainly the Spirit's book, the Medium's book, the Gospel according to Spiritism, Heaven and Hell, and the Genesis. And after that, we welcome other Spiritist books from missionaries like Chico Xavier, Divaldo Franco, and others that are aligned with the Spiritist philosophy and teachings. And we learn that without charity, there is no salvation. So what is a salvation? Salvation, it is the progress of our souls. So we cannot progress if we do not learn how to be charitable, how to put our love in action, how to really learn this law of solidarity. And the concept of charity is so difficult because it is benevolence for everyone. So it's not really to do good only to the ones that do good to us, the ones that we love, but it's to be benevolent to everyone, to be indulgent to the imperfections of others, to be indulgent to our own imperfections. Learn that we are progressing little by little and be able to forgive injuries, be able to understand that the people that hurt us, they do not know what they are doing. Jesus, on his example, on the moment of his death, he prayed to God saying, forgive them because they do not know what they're doing. So to reach this point of letting go any negative thoughts and feelings, because we understand that the ones that are hurting others, the ones that are still doing evil, they do not know what they are doing. They are still very imperfect beings. They are still lost on illusions. They are still creating a future for them that's going to be very harsh, very difficult, because we know there is a law of action and reaction. Whatever we do, like a boomerang effect, it comes back to us. And this explains why we are still suffering nowadays, because what we did in the past. But the good news is whatever we do today is going to create a better future for us. So it is in our hands, to really create a beautiful, beautiful path ahead of us. So us humans, as incarnate spirits, have forgotten our true role. So it's why Spiritism had to come back to explain to us. Buried in the material world, we easily lose sight of the great horizons of our destiny, which is to develop our latent potentials of making ourselves happier by making ourselves better. So here is the secret. If you want to be happier, just make yourself better. And let's remember, we are spirits. And here is a little summary to understand what we are. We are spirits, this divine seed, and we are on earth just living a material experience. So we have a temporary physical body that is going to die, but we spirits are going to survive death, and we are going to keep living with our spiritual body, with our perispirit. And the same way, our loved ones are not lost. They keep living on the spiritual worlds, and we are connected to them. So Spiritism reminds us of all these things, and it's why we are here in a Saturday morning studying together, reminding us about all these universal truths. So Spiritism came to shake slumbering souls, to stimulate their march, to induce their elevation. We must look ahead, not our past. It illuminates the dark folds of the self, telling us about our origins and destinies, explaining the past through the present, and opening the prospects of a future that we are free to make magnificent or miserable according to our deeds. In our hands, dear friends, our destination, our future. We cannot change our past, but we can definitely build a better future for all of us. And if we decide to do together in a collective way, it's going to be easier for all of us. We cannot evolve alone. A human soul can only really progress by living in collective life, working for the benefit of all. This is so true that this pandemic moment here shows how hard it is to be isolated, not socialized, because we do need the touch, we do need the hug, the kiss, we do need to look into each other's eyes and feel we are human. We are social beings. We learn it. So we must learn how to live together socially. And thank you, technology, that allow us to still remain connected during these difficult times. One of the consequences of this solidarity, which binds us so tightly, is that the spectacle of the sufferings of some fellow beings disturbs and nullifies serenity in others. So, dear friends, how can we feel happy with so much suffering around us? Even if you have ever seen you always dreamed to have, even if you are in a very good situation on this moment, you don't lack anything, you cannot feel good, you cannot feel complete. The sufferings of other people disturbs you. If you walk on the street and you see a homeless, if you see on the news war, if you see someone that gave up on life, still young or has no more hope, someone that is, suffering on the hospitals, or someone very dear passes away, you suffer, because we are, through the law of solidarity, all connected. So we must understand that we can only be happy together, only building a more equal society where people do not lack the basics, where people have the opportunities to develop their talents, to give their contributions, to live in peace and harmony. We cannot be happy. Okay, so we must do something. We must act. We have to give our contribution. A constant concern for higher order spirits, which visit the dark regions, bringing the radiations of their thought and the impulsions of their love to the souls fallen in the path of passion and error. So, dear friends, all the spirits are rescued, are helped. No one is abandoned, no one. And the call is, what can we do to offer our hands? No soul will be forever lost. If all of them have suffered, all will be saved. Jesus said that, right? Not even sheep will be lost. So we must look for the sufferings around us and act on it. We must open our hearts and feel compassion and feel the call to do something. In the midst of their painful trials, the compassion and affection of their sibling souls will embrace them and lead them to God. We can read on the Spiritist literature about spirits that are rescued from the called lower zones or more difficult places, less evolved worlds, right? Especially on the books of the Spirit André Luiz, psychographic by Chico Xavier. You read and you see, or the book about the suicides that the spirits, the Legion of Mary of Nazareth, always rescue spirits that committed suicide, spirits that had done evil, in history. They are not lost. So the most horrible person you can imagine is going to become a beautiful soul, a pure spirit, and he or she, it is our brother or sister in humanity, as we explained it. So how can we conceive that radiant spirits would forget those they once loved, those who shared their joys, their worries, and are still struggling in the earthly path? How can you imagine a mother would abandon a child? How can you imagine that someone that we love deeply is going to be abandoned? No, we love them and we would do whatever we can to rescue them. So it's the same with the spirits that are more evolved than us. They feel compassion for our sufferings and they come to rescue, help us. The bond of love is never broken. We must feel this in our hearts and connect to our loved ones that are already living on the spiritual world. The complaint of those who are suffering, of those whose destiny still binds to backward worlds, come to them and awakens their generous compassion. When one of these calls crosses the ether, those higher spirits leave their celestial dwellings to pour the treasures of their charitable love into the furrows of material worlds. Oh, my friends, is so much love, so much care, and we still feel abandoned here. Let's open our hearts and feel the love. Among evolved souls, the feeling of solidarity becomes intense enough to change into perpetual communion with all beings and with God. The cosmos becomes the theater of universal life and communion, a communion of beings with one another and all beings with God, their parent. No distance can separate Akin souls from one another, and we can feel now that we are connected through technology that there is no distance. We have loved ones in different countries, in different parts of the globe. The same, the loved ones that are in the spiritual worlds. We are connected to them. They can feel our love, our gratitude, and they can be happy when we are happy here. And we can, and they can help us if they can, go and pass the difficulties. Souls that love each other communicate together through thought, and prayer is the highest expression of communion of souls. We must learn how to pray, my dear friends. All our anxieties and uncertainties will cease when we come to understand that life is universal communion and that God and all its children live this life together. So if you have moments of anxiety, of uncertainty, of fear, have a pause, have a moment of silence, raise your thoughts. You do not need to read anything. Just raise your thoughts and ask for help with an open heart, with humility, and the help will come. Whatever you need to face, to struggle, that is part of your reincarnatory plan, you still need to go through. But through prayers, you are going to receive the strength, the consolation, and the inspiration that you need to pass these difficult moments, because every difficult moment passes. We must feel that. Prayer, you then become the language of all, and its benefits will extend to all beings, especially those who suffer the forgotten of the earth and space. So, dear friends, they call it invisibles, the ones that are marginalized, the ones that society are not interested to help, they call it losers. They are brothers and sisters. We must offer our hand, our help, and be sensitive, not be indifferent to the sufferings of people. If we are indifferent, there is something wrong with us, because we were born to love. It will reach those who no one dreams of benefiting, those who lie in the darkness, sadness and oblivion, in face of accusing past, the ones that have so much guilty on their conscience because all the mistakes they did in the past. And who didn't do mistakes in the past? Who are still not doing mistakes? So we must create this network of solidarity with one another. It will awaken then new aspirations. So when we show we care for people, that they matter, they are going to feel hope and look for new aspirations and have the strength to raise, above their difficulties. It will strengthen their hearts and thoughts. All these words by Leon Denis, dear friends, brought to us through this legacy of books to enlighten us, to help us live our lives here. And we are about to conclude this study. So I'd like to leave this message found on the book of Romans. Rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep. So we must learn how to be together in joy, but in sadness as well. If you have mastered yourself, support those who are still unable to avoid their own irritation. If you feel healthy, help the patient. If you are stronger, help the weak. If you have any money, donate some portion to the needy who are waiting for the blessing of a bread. Solidarity is the law of life. Today, you can support some. Tomorrow, you may need support from everyone. So, dear friends, this is the message we had to bring to you today. We hope this study can touch your hearts and open your minds, give you motivation to do a little bit more, to exercise this law of solidarity, especially this time of the year. We are in December. We are still, living this pandemic moment. Vaccination is coming next year, but we still need to be careful. So let's be closer to our Master Jesus. On this month, we celebrate in his memory that he stayed here with us. So let's open our hearts to help with material charity, yes, donating our material resources to any non-profit organization or anyone you feel in need. But more than money, let's give our time, let's give our talents, let's give our hearts and hands to one another. So I thank you, everyone. And Marcia, thank you so much. And it's back to you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. I'm having a bit of issues with my connectivity, so Joan's here in case I get dropped. But I think, anyways, I want to say thank you so much, Leah. What a touching talk. I want to invite everyone who's listening to the presentation to know that we're open for your comments and questions. Is there any questions that we would like for you to do? So we understand we must create mechanism to ensure international cooperation. What about your children? Can you share, Leah, your thoughts on what are some tools maybe for us to educate our children on cooperation and solidarity?
What comes to mind it is the example of parents and educators, because the children always look at us as role models.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure there are missionaries on education that are here to help educate our children. But in our families, as parents, I think we must show to them the path through our examples. When I can see mom and dad or a dear one going to help one another, this shows to me what I have to do. Always makes me think about my grandmother, and when she used to visit friends or people in need, and I always have these memories about her doing that. And I think this is a great example and motivation for us. and I cannot talk much because I'm going to get emotional here, but is to show that love really creates, a profound memory in us, love and compassion. So
Yes,
it's the
yes.
power of example. So let's dedicate time to our kids and let's work in something with them, you know, maybe a volunteer work, or every day we have an opportunity to practice goodness, you know. So I think this is what I would say.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Leah. We have another question. So, solidarity is defined as unity or agreement of feeling or action, especially among individuals with a common interest, mutual support within a group. What can we do as spiritists to demonstrate solidarity today? And I think you talked a lot about it, but maybe you have additional thoughts.
Yeah, so how we can demonstrate solidarity? I think to show that we care for one another, that we are here for one another, right? I think is to put in practice all these wonderful teachings that are coming from the high spirits. Is to show that we need to do more than talking, more than studying. We need to practice, and we have wonderful opportunities. Among workers of the Spiritist movement to really practice charity, the most difficult charity, which is really the benevolence, which is understanding, patience, you know. So we definitely work together for something we have in common, which is to spread this message to other people, to bring, consolation to other hearts. But we must practice what we believe, right? We must, again, the power of the example, I think, is the key. Mm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Leah.
Okay.
We also have one. It says, in your opinion, how is 2020 and the COVID-19 pandemic forcing us to reinvent the notion of solidarity and cooperation? And I would say in a global scenario, right?
We can see so much effort everywhere for people to work together to find a cure for this disease, or people that are working together to have technology, to spread technology, to bring technology to communities that, for instance, had no computer, right? I think there are wonderful opportunities to develop areas and to bring knowledge to a lot of people. So I think we have to look deeper, not only look at the bad news, but look what people are doing. You can see on the social media, you can see over the web, the creativity of people, how they are find ways, to celebrate, the teachers, the health professionals, how to do, parties over the web, how to spread love and compassion. I think this is the beauty of humankind. We can really do wonderful things when we want. So, um, at the same time, we can do horrible things, we can do beautiful things. So, I think it's why we have to exercise goodness. We have to believe in love, in compassion, and we must follow the path of solidarity. I think it's the invitation. I think it's the call for today for all of us. We do not master this yet, but it's why we are here, and together we can do a better job.
Thank
I
you. Thank you, Leah.
Thank you.
There is some messages. So he says, thank you for sharing the message from Desmond Tutu. My humanity is bound up in yours, for we can only be humans together. Such an important piece of wisdom for all of us to remember.
Yeah.
Thank you, Leah.
Thank you. And I would like to say something because
Yes.
it is when we are invited to study and prepare a study to share with others that we dedicate time to read, to look for quotes, and we find so much beauty and everywhere. Like we learned here today, in different cultures, in different religions, different philosophies, we have true missionaries everywhere. But we need to be open to see. We need to have eyes to see. We need to have ears to hear, right? We need to pause. If we are in a constant turmoil dedicated to material aspects of your life, if you do not have moments to really dedicate time, a small time of your day, but with consistency, with discipline. Every day, maybe you read a small message, a small passage in a book, and you can see the wisdom and the beauty everywhere, really.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Leah. Thank you, everyone who watched this live talk today and those who have been following our weekly talks. Please note, next Saturday, which is December 12th, at 11 a.m. Eastern, please don't miss Ana Moreno, who will be speaking on the topic. It's a question: can your thoughts change your life? Leah, before we close our live, would you be so kind to say a closing prayer?
Sure.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. I appreciate it. Thank you. So, in this moment, dear friends, united in thought, united through our energies, our love, our friendship. Let's take this moment to raise above our material lives and to feel the energies coming from above. Let's feel on us this love, solidarity. Let's feel the energies coming from our mentors, the mentors of our spiritist centers, the spiritists of the whole movement, entrusted to help us, to rescue us. Let's feel these energies and let's express our gratitude to each one of you connected with us today, from all realms, all areas, from our homes. Let's feel this love. Let's feel we are not alone here. Let's feel we are not abandoned. Even if you are physically alone, you are never alone. So believe and feel the love of our Creator, the love of other human beings, and how we can do better together, how it's possible to create a better future for all of us. Each one of us can light a candle. Each one of us is unique and can contribute positively to this world. Thank you, our Master Jesus. Thank you, our Masters Allan Kardec, Leon Denis, and all the spirits that are bringing this knowledge to us, this lesson to us. We appreciate your time, your love, and we hope to learn and serve a little bit more. In the name of Jesus, we close another event with a lot of joy and gratitude in our hearts, and so be it.
So be it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
See
you,
you next
Marcia.
week.
Thank you.